Hey everybody, Dr. Jaime here, and you are about to listen to the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience. I hope you enjoy the tips and advice in this segment. Hey everyone, Dr. Jaime here with the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience, and today I'm going to talk with you a little bit about the mental health impact that students are feeling from these gun mass shootings that are occurring in schools. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because tonight I am going to be speaking at a Spectrum News town hall meeting called Common Ground, Student Safety and Gun Laws. Essentially, it's a 1-hour live event that's hosted by Bay News 9. The format is free-flowing. It's a town hall discussion between the moderator, guests, the audience, and we're going to talk about what is going on with these school shootings. So I'll be the licensed mental health counselor that sits on this panel. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to talk, if the focus is going to be on me, if it's going to be on everybody else, if I'm going to talk, if I'm going to answer one question, 100 questions. So I want to sort of get this out in an audio for you to share your feedback. And it's not a critique against me because I'm open-minded to this. I want to hear your ideas and thoughts. We need to come together as a country. We don't need to say your idea is bad, or your idea is good, and your idea is... We need to come together and collectively find what is going to work for this country, because what's going on right now is not working. We need to be open-minded to everyone's opinion and recognize that it's not just my opinion that's going to save the world. It's not just your opinion that's going to save the world. It's going to be all of us coming together. And we're so against each other right now that it's hurting us. However, there are a lot of other confirmed guests that really we're going to want to hear speak. We have students from Stoneman Douglas High School. We have the parents from Stoneman Douglas High School. We have superintendents of different schools. We have the assistant principal at Pinellas Park High School shooting during 1988. This is going back to the 80s, guys. So we really need to do something about this. Okay, so here's my take on it. The mental health impact on students, a few things are definitely occurring. One, they're starting to deal with events that normally they should deal with normally they should deal with later in life. They're dealing with them earlier. So let's take a step back here. Typically, it's later in life that we deal with death. They're dealing with it at age 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That is a very young age to be dealing with a death. Mind you, there are people out there, kids out there, their parents have passed, their friends have passed. That does happen. But that's not common for a 5 to 17-year-old to experience. And now it is common. And they're losing their best friends. And when you're in those middle school and teen years, your friends are your life. They rank parents out at that point, right? They're losing someone that they rank even more valuable than a parent at that moment in their life. They're losing boyfriends. They're losing best friends. They're losing girlfriends. And they've got to deal with the power that death brings to the emotion and the heart and the brain and the mind and the body. So we've got to find ways to help them better cope with these things, right? So definitely them dealing with the loss of friends and peers and boyfriends. That's a huge one, dealing with the death. Secondly, anxiety, right? There's a lot of anxiety about, is my school going to have a mass shooting? My second grader yesterday said to me that it's weird. He says it was weird that they have to know to run out of a school. I told him, Mommy's sitting on a panel. I'm going to talk about, why guns should not be coming into schools and that students should always be safe. That was sort of my nice way of saying what's happening today on this panel. And he said, yeah, it's really weird because if someone comes into the school, they told us we have to run out of the school. So he's getting a basic understanding of it. But, imagine when he's in, like my fifth grader, he understands that creates anxiety. And now think about these 15 and 16-year-olds, the amount of anxiety that they're feeling. And also it brings on paranoia. I don't think it's going to bring on schizophrenic symptoms and paranoia attached to that. But I do think it's going to bring on paranoia. What's in his backpack? Why is he being secretive? Why is he wearing that long coat today? What's underneath it? And it might be a perfectly innocent child doing nothing but just wearing a long coat, or just being suspicious, but he didn't mean to be suspicious. And so it's going to bring on paranoia. And then what this paranoia does, what this anxiety, and of course fear plays a major role in all of this, the mental health impact. It's definitely instilling and increasing fears in our students, but loss of focus on education, for sure, right? Loss of focus in life on different things. But when they're outside of school, I hope that they feel safer. Well, I wish they would feel safe in schools. But specifically in school, a loss of focus on education. How can you focus on calculus, honors calc, or geometry, or your reading test tomorrow, or your social studies book, when you're worried about the student sitting next to you, or a statement a student made, or what's in his locker, or the fact that there was a school shooting at your school 2 weeks ago? How do you focus on school at that point? So we're really, really losing a focus on what these kids are supposed to even be doing. And also, I'm going to talk a little bit about giving teachers guns. And I think it ties with a loss of focus on education. I've given this long and hard thought about teachers having guns. And I'm open to hearing everyone's opinion. And my opinion is not the only one. But hear me when I say we're putting a Band-Aid on the issue. I appreciate that we are trying something new. Let's give teachers guns. I appreciate that we have people stepping up to try to just do something, and do something fast, because we need something now. This is not working what we're doing. But I believe that's just a quick Band-Aid that could really backlash on us at the same time. What we need to do is going to take a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of changing our society. And I've put together some things I think that we could work on that I don't even know if we have a solution to. I have ideas. I don't have all the answers. And I'd love to know some of your solutions for each and every one of these areas. So the first area is to increase the way that we operate in teams. We are becoming a society of loners. We are on technology. We are on social media. Kids, at least in my kids' school, everyone should be quiet. No one should be talking. The teachers have so much going on. We're really just becoming loners. As research shows, one of the factors in a lot of the characteristics of these shooters that go into schools, or even mass murderers, is they tend to be loners. We're creating a society with technology and video games and social media. Be quiet in school. And now in school, we're on iPads all day and computers, and we're creating loners. How can we start amplifying more teamwork in a society that is pushing us to be a little bit more of a loner? I am not saying that because you use a computer, or you like to be alone, or you're more of an introverted person, that you're going to go mass shoot. No, I'm not saying that. And I don't want to take this there and cover every word I'm saying. But I do know that being a loner is part of what has been going on. So how can we start fostering teams again? The importance of working together, not bullying people, which is going to bring us to the next thing. When we're working as a team together as one, we're rooting for each other. As loners, we begin to just root for ourselves. And I want to talk about bullying. There was a study done of I want to say about 27 or 28 mass murders that went on. And half of the mass murderers had been bullied severely at one point in their life. What are we going to start doing about the bullying? Yes, we all know it's bad. Yes, we say don't do it. But are we doing enough? What if we could literally have a course in bullying? Right? Now we offer Spanish classes, right? Because our society has evolved. Now we offer technology courses and coding courses because our society has evolved. We have new people. We have new cultures. We have new types of technology. Well, cyberbullying is a new thing. Why don't we have courses for that? So what if in the second grade, the first grade, we started bringing awareness to bullying and educating our children on how awful this is and how it can hurt, and play games, try to educate our teachers to come up with new games and new skills to foster and learn about how bad it is to bully. What if we had different campaigns and teams and things people could join and really make it in your face? Bullying is not cool, and nobody bullies. You bully? Oh my God, that's like so stupid. Or like you look at someone like a bully, like, oh my God. Instead of, sometimes people rally with the bullies. Sometimes people don't understand the signs of a bully. Sometimes people see people being bullied and walk by. I know we've got things out there on bullying. I'm having an amazing group of young adults on the show this coming up Friday on the Dr. Jaime Show to talk about bullying. They're doing a lot, but we need to do more. How can this become in our curriculum? And that's out of the box, and it's a crazy idea, but we're not doing it, and we need to do things that we're not doing to see if we can find a new way. So I also put video games. At a young age, a child is learning about reality. And I think with these video games, a lot of them out there, we're skewing their reality. They die and they come back, or they half die, or we're just kind of stabbing them, but they're still living. I mean, crazy games that 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds are watching, and commercials that they see, even if they're playing good video games on iPads, or they're playing good games on iPads, the commercials that they see in between these games are crazy. Yes, there's parental things, security that you can put on these iPads. But what else could we do more than just that? What else could we change or do better? I need your help. I don't know the answer, but I do know it's skewing reality. And if you're a loner and you're watching the same video game, killing the same person, killing them in a school, running away and hiding underground. Yes, there are games like that. I have clients that have told me this, that play these games, and they're in to see me for a reason. They're doing things that are not normal. What can we do? What can we do with these video games? How can we crack down harder on some of these things? All right, you're going to laugh at this one. Remember back in the day, guys? DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education. I still remember that. And I know people will argue, there's been research that program did nothing. Maybe it did nothing, okay? But what if it did something? What if it did 1%? What if one person plays a role in 1% of this? We need to get it on board. So, not necessarily bringing DARE back, but how can we bring a revamped DARE back? The children the adolescents not only have hormones raging and changing and growing and developing, but they're mixing all of that with drugs and alcohol. They're trying drugs and alcohol for the first time. In a lot of the cases with mass murders, research show, right, we talked about loners, bullying, well, drugs and alcohol, that they are experimenting with them and they are using them. So how can we pull these people away from trying drugs and alcohol? Maybe it's more teamwork. Maybe it's more sports. Maybe sports are required in school. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I do have some different ideas, and I want to hear from you some of your ideas and how we can find solutions to this. Another point that I think is important is law enforcement, better training, right? We want to give teachers guns. If we're going to pay a teacher how to use a gun, why don't we just give that extra money to law enforcement? I know that at some of these shootings, we've heard these police officers are not running in and protecting the children. A lot of them do that though. So for the ones that are fearful, and you got to say rightfully so, it's not right that they didn't run in. It's not right that they didn't try to stop the shooting, but wouldn't you be fearful? So what can we do? How can we train our law enforcement to maybe not be so fearful? Or let's take it back a step further. How can we get security so these kids can't even get in with the guns? What else could we do? That's where we have to think. But I want to take it, all these other things I'm talking about, bullying and video games and DARE and, all of these other things that I'm bringing up. I'm bringing those up because those aren't the quick fixes. Those are the things that even if we didn't change one single gun law, even if we didn't train our law enforcement better, that there wouldn't be kids that want to run into schools and shoot them up to begin with. So even under the assumption that anyone could have a gun, even youngsters could have guns if they wanted, that no one would want to take a gun and go shoot up a school anyway. And that comes by making our community healthier. And we've got to find ways. And one of the biggest things that I would tell parents out there, and really I'm directing this towards the children, you need to vote. For me personally, I came in a world where at first I didn't think voting was important. And then people would tell me voting's important. You got to vote for the president. And then I started, oh, yes, it is important. It is important. And so I would vote for the president. But I didn't realize voting for the president isn't the only important vote. That now more than ever, I realize voting at the local level is important. So to all of the students and children out there, my biggest advice to you, vote the day that you can vote. Start learning about who's running when you're 14, 15, 16, and 17. Start asking your parents, who's running? What does that mean? What if they win? What kinds of things do they get to say about school? What kinds of things do they get to say about law? What kinds of things do they get to say about anything that's important to you? Ask. And then the day you turn 18 and the day you can vote, that is when you need to make sure you're not just voting for the president, that you're voting at the local level too. And it's important that one of the things in making a community healthier is to educate our youngsters on why it is so important to vote at not just the presidency level, but at the local level too. And we've got to educate them, and we've also got to give them a voice so that they start running. We need these people to start running for different offices and different roles in politics. We need them. So should teachers get guns? My short answer is no. And you heard my long answer. I would love to know your thoughts too about that. And I understand the quick fix on it. I really do. I understand if someone runs in, I want my son's teacher to shoot that guy and take him down before he takes my son down. But I don't think that that's the long term. So the last thing that I want to share with you today are triggers. So what are some triggers that have been noted for people that are going to go in and shoot up a school, murder people, mass murderers? What are some of the signs? A lot of research shows that pretty much in 4% of cases, it's mental health illness. It's rarely mental health illness. And I say that as mental health illness alone. Yes, these people have got to be screwed up in the head if you're going to go shoot up a school. Depression, anxiety, maybe they have severe psychosis. A lot of times there is a factor of that in there. But it's rarely a factor alone. Typically, and let's go back to it, you are going to have factors that are social, environmental, along with the psychological. So children from dysfunctional families, there's sexual abuse, physical abuse in those families. Then you also have situations of racism, hate crimes. Those types of things will drive people. Bullying, the change in these hormones mixed with drugs and alcohol, the cyberbullying, and then yes, psychosis will play a role. But typically, your combination, and this is not always, but a very strong recipe for someone would be a male from a very low socioeconomic status who is abusing alcohol and drugs. He tends to be a loner, and he was bullied. If you've got that, that is a population that we need to go in and we need to rescue. How can we bring joy to those boys? How can we make them more positive, give them teamwork, not feel bullied, give them a voice to fight back in a healthy way? That would be a great group of people to empower so that they use their anger in a way to become healthy and grow and develop. When I'm angry, I do everything I can to channel that anger into something positive, and then I thrive in whatever it is I'm trying to do. Because anger is so powerful. It's so powerful, it can get someone to shoot up a school. But what if you took all of that anger, the energy behind all that anger, and channeled it into something positive? You'd have some great kids in sports, in education. You could really empower them if we do the right thing. I know it seems like this is all a dream, and wow, can we really ever do anything like this? But I think if we put our heads together, we can. I believe we can do anything we want. But if we don't make radical changes that are outside of the box, that we think are almost crazy changes, what we're doing is going to lead us to what's happening. So I'd love to hear your voice and your take and some of your ideas. If you reply today, I love to bring them up at the town hall meeting. If not, let's get a conversation started, a healthy conversation started, and let's try to make a difference in this world. It's going to take one positive comment and one positive idea after another to make a difference. I want to hear what you have to say. I appreciate what you have to say, and I hope what I said, that something in it sparks something in you that will make a difference. Thank you so much for listening to the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience. I really hope that you enjoyed the tips and advice given on today's segment. Do me a favor and go to iTunes and my YouTube, and please subscribe to that channel. Every subscribe, every like, every follow helps the Dr. Jaime Show grow so that we can bring you the best guests and the best content possible. And of course, as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to leave that as well. Talk to you soon.